Zelensky have to give up territory, Mr. President?
There'll be some swapping of territories to the betterment of both.
On August 15th, Donald Trump will welcome Vladimir Putin to Alaska, the first time the Russian leader sets foot on US soil in a decade. Behind closed doors, they'll talk of ending the Ukraine war with a trade of land. But whose borders will be rewritten? American President Donald Trump has officially confirmed what many considered unthinkable just years ago, a face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin on American soil. In a Truth Social post, Trump announced that he will meet with the Russian president on August 15th in Alaska. This marks a significant shift in diplomatic relations, as Putin hasn't set foot on US territory since 2015 and hasn't met with Trump since 2018.
The highly anticipated meeting between myself, as President of the United States of America, and President Vladimir Putin of Russia will take place next Friday, August 15th, 2025, in the great state of Alaska. Further details to follow.
The announcement comes on the exact day Trump had set as his deadline for Putin to make peace or face severe economic consequences. Just days before, Trump had escalated pressure by imposing a punishing 50% tariff on Indian goods, specifically targeting New Delhi's continued purchases of Russian oil. Speaking to reporters while hosting Armenian and Azerbaijani leaders at the White House, Trump revealed crucial details about potential peace terms.
Will Zelensky have to give up territory, Mr. President?
Well, you're looking at territory that's been fought over for 3.5 years with, a lot of Russians have died, a lot of Ukrainians have died. So we're looking at that, but we're actually looking to get some back and some swapping. It's complicated. It's actually nothing easy. It's very complicated, but we're going to get some back. We're going to get some switched. There'll be some swapping of territories to the betterment of both. But we'll be talking about that either later or tomorrow or whatever.
Trump's comments about territorial swaps represent the first concrete glimpse into what a peace deal might entail. This prospect has immediate implications for Ukraine's future, as the country has consistently rejected any agreement that would cede occupied territory to Russia, including Crimea and the eastern regions of Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhia. The timing of this meeting is particularly striking. According to reports from the Wall Street Journal, it followed a crucial meeting between Putin and Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff on August 6th at the Kremlin. Sources familiar with those discussions suggest Putin indicated a willingness to consider a ceasefire, but only if Ukraine withdraws its forces from the entire Donbass region in eastern Ukraine. Trump made clear his frustration with the war's toll during Friday's press conference.
Russia, as you know, lost almost 25,000 over the last month and a half, and Ukraine lost just a small number, fewer. It's a lot of people are dying, and I think we're getting very close. And
the American president positioned himself as uniquely capable of preventing global catastrophe, stating,
"I would say this: that war could have escalated in something much better. That could have been a world war. I think if we didn't come, Ukraine-Russia would have ended up being a world war. And I stopped that. That stopped."
Despite the high-profile nature of the upcoming Alaska meeting, significant obstacles remain that could limit any breakthrough. Most notably, Ukraine will not be represented at the summit, though Trump has indicated he will meet with President Zelensky shortly afterward. This absence has already drawn criticism from European allies who argue that meaningful progress cannot be made without Ukrainian participation. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made his position crystal clear in response to Trump's announcement.
President Trump announced preparations for his meeting with Putin in Alaska. Very far away from this war, which is raging on our land, against our people, and which anyway can't be ended without us, without Ukraine. Of course, we will not reward Russia for what it has perpetrated. The Ukrainian people deserve peace, but all partners must understand what a dignified peace is. The answer to the Ukrainian territorial question already is in the Constitution of Ukraine. No one will deviate from this, and no one will be able to. Ukrainians will not gift their land to the occupier. Ukraine is ready for real decisions that can bring peace. Any decisions that are against us, any decisions that are without Ukraine, are at the same time decisions against peace. They will not achieve anything. These are stillborn decisions. They are unworkable decisions, and we all need real and genuine peace.
The Alaska summit represents far more than a bilateral meeting. It's a moment that could reshape the global order. For Putin, agreeing to meet on US soil, even in Alaska, represents a significant diplomatic victory after nearly 3 years of international isolation following his invasion of Ukraine. The choice of Alaska carries deep historical resonance. This is the same territory that the Russian Empire sold to the United States for $7.2 million in 1867, when Tsar Alexander II was drowning in war debts. Alaska's proximity to Russia, just 55 miles across the Bering Strait at its closest point, makes it symbolically powerful while remaining firmly on American soil. The meeting's timing also addresses a practical concern. Putin faces an arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court for alleged war crimes in Ukraine, making travel through ICC member countries legally perilous. The United States, however, is not an ICC member and does not recognize the court's authority, providing Putin safe passage. Bloomberg News reported that US and Russian officials are actively working on a territorial agreement designed to freeze the current conflict and establish groundwork for a ceasefire. Such an arrangement would leave Russia in control of the Ukrainian territory it currently occupies while opening the door for broader negotiations. According to diplomatic sources, Putin's demands remain maximalist. The Russian president has consistently insisted that any peace deal must include Ukraine's complete withdrawal from NATO consideration, limits on Ukrainian military capabilities, and recognition of Russian sovereignty over annexed territories. These demands extend beyond the current battlefield situation to fundamentally reshape Ukraine's future orientation. The stakes for Trump are equally high. One of his central campaign promises was ending the Ukraine war within 24 hours, a deadline that has long passed. The president has made no secret of his desire for a Nobel Peace Prize and has explicitly linked his worthiness for such recognition to his peace efforts. Trump's approach to the conflict has been notably volatile. Earlier this year, he appeared to align more closely with Moscow, limiting military aid to Ukraine and engaging in what observers described as a confrontational meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in February. During that notorious Oval Office encounter, Trump reportedly told Zelensky,
Putin went through a hell of a lot with me.
However, Trump's patience with Putin has visibly worn thin in recent weeks.
We get a lot of bullshit thrown at us by Putin, if you want to know the truth.
This frustration manifested in concrete actions. Last week, Trump denounced Russia's renewed attacks on Kyiv, calling them disgusting, and authorized additional arms sales to Ukraine while threatening severe sanctions. The global implications extend far beyond Washington and Moscow. Putin has been conducting an intensive diplomatic campaign, speaking with Chinese President Xi Jinping, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and leaders of several other nations to brief them on his contacts with the United States. The complexity of Putin's strategic approach became evident during the Moscow meeting between the Russian president and Steve Witkoff. According to CBS News sources, Putin employed classic psychological warfare tactics by giving Witkoff an unexpected item to deliver, the Order of Lenin, a Soviet-era award meant for Julian Galina, the CIA's Deputy Director for Digital Innovation. The award was intended to honor Galina's 21-year-old son, Michael Gloss, who was killed in Ukraine in 2024 while fighting alongside Russian forces. This gesture represents Putin's reputation for exploiting vulnerabilities and creating uncomfortable situations for his adversaries. As the August 15th date approaches, fundamental questions remain unanswered. Will Putin's apparent willingness to engage represent genuine flexibility? Or is this another strategic delay while Russian forces continue their offensive? Can Trump's self-described deal-making abilities bridge the vast gap between Russian demands and Ukrainian red lines?